So thank you very much for having me. Thank you, Sharp Words and Ariel Gordon. I'm really honored to be with such talented writers, local people. It's great. Carrie, Kim, Anvesh, Teresa, John, and of course, thank you to everyone online for coming out. My name is Kimia Eslah. Kimia Eslah, and I'm a novelist and I'm an essayist. My 2022 novel, let's go with that. Sister Seen, Sister Heard. It's a story about life after trauma. And it asks, how can we support victims without the blame, the guilt, the constraints? My 2019 novel, The Daughter Who Walked Away, examines the ties that bind us to family. It explores the question, when is estrangement the healthiest choice? Trauma, dysfunction, bigotry, these are a few of my favorite things. Yeah, I am rarely invited to dinner parties, but certainly I am not determined to make people feel uncomfortable, but I don't shy away from it either. Besides, it doesn't really take much to make others uncomfortable, and especially when I bring up privilege. You know, we really dislike admitting to our privilege. We want to believe that it's our merits that led us to our present day success. It's our hard work, our resilience, our stamina, our fortitude, not my race or my gender or my sexual orientation or my religion or my physical or my psychological makeup. I want to believe that I am enjoying the fruits of my labor. And yet the research indicates that our quality of life is not determined by our stick-to-itiveness. Each of us is treated differently in a system that's founded on white supremacy, patriarchy, hate, and no one is unaffected. The people who benefit from systemic discrimination, they are also affected. They are privileged by it. So last year, I wrote an essay titled White Husband Privilege, Where I Do and Don't Take My White Man. I'd like to read a few parts of that essay. Here's my paper. Here I am reading. I've got a white husband, blue eyes, pale skin, uses $10 words, drinks cider. His pants have a minimum 6 pockets, and they come in one color, beige. No doubt my white husband is privileged. When he speaks, people listen to him and they hear him. Even when I'm the one talking to them, they would still respond to him. And so when I dialogue with my male plumber or my male mechanic, I ask my white husband to make himself scarce. Yes, I could take my money somewhere less sexist and racist, but this form of discrimination happens all the time. Yes? Can I get an amen? It happens everywhere. And really, at some point, I have to make a stand because I have other things to do. That prejudice that fogs their perception keeps them from seeing and hearing what's right in front of them. First, they have to overcome their surprise that I'm articulate and that I know what I'm talking about. And then they have to digest their discomfort about serving a brown woman. Experience and exhaustion have taught me when to bring along my white husband. For example, any visit to our son's school requires white male accompaniment. When my white husband appears at school to speak with the white female principal, he's treated like an involved and concerned parent. My husband, and when I approach, I am construed as reactive, demanding, and hysterical. So when I visit the principal, my husband comes along as the supporting cast. He sits, turned towards me, forcing the principal to speak to me or the side of my husband's head. And he repeats what I say, word for word, in a show of solidarity. It's just not hysterical when he says it. So that was the piece, or part of it. So this essay was positively received. Many readers described having very similar experiences. And then there were the ones who had a different opinion. Okay, I'd like to read you just a couple of these, just a couple, because I try not to read comments. But Bobby O said, I hate to tell you, but I think the problem is more gender than race. My husband and I are both white, and the very situations you describe happen to me daily. Louis said, part of it probably has more to do with the fact that your husband is male. What a Nice Guy said, it doesn't really matter what color you are. My wife, and we are both white, is often ignored by whatever color tradesperson. Okay, so these comments had me wondering whether there was a shortage on prejudice, like demand overwhelming supply. I had to pick one form of discrimination. I had to be just like others. They wanted to inform me that I was mistaken. I was the target of sexism, not racism, because similar discrimination had happened to a white woman. This logic, this need to create these tidy parcels of prejudice, this is unproductive. It's harmful, and it's a game of make-believe. This logic is based on a post-racial world. I don't see color. I see color, dark and light, and really to ignore color is to ignore privilege, to pretend that race and color are irrelevant to the human experience, to pretend that the experience of a white woman facing sexism is the same as that of a woman of color. It's the same logic that leads mainstream media to persistently offer white experience, the white family, the white doctor, the white friends, the white teen vampires. Okay, the white heterosexual cisgendered non-disabled experience, it's not universal. It's actually not any more relatable than any other experience. Readers are smarter than we've given them credit for. They hunger for authentic characters which haven't been whitewashed, simplified, dehumanized. They want to see characters who resemble them and their friends and their family, their social networks, in all their intersectional glory. Readers might not relate to every aspect of a character, but if I can get something out of Harry Potter, they'll manage too. And on that note, I say, let's write new narratives. Let's prioritize marginalized authors. Let's read new stories. Let's admit that we have a long way to go. Let's celebrate what we've learned and apply it further. Thank you very much for this time. I hope that you enjoyed it. My name is Kimia Eslah. I am an author, I am a novelist and an essayist, and pleasure. If you'd like to learn more about me and my work, reach out. You can go to kimiaeslah.com. Thank you very much, and thank